Welcome to it. My name is Lindy Shabangwen. This is Project CB News. Today, as you can see, I'm playing with the soccer ball. Today is a soccer clinic for Flair Feet Academy. We are here at the Curro School in Vanderbijlpark, just across from Northwest University. Now, this is a developmental agency where youngsters are taught discipline, they taught courage, they taught strength, and they're really taught how to play the game of soccer. Now, is that all really necessary? Is it important? Well, today we get to speak to Matthew Booth, who's going to give us a bit of a pep talk about why soccer is good to develop children. And then, of course, we're going to talk to a coach. You know, Mr. John has come a long way from Johannesburg to come and coach soccer in Vanderbijl, in the Vaal Triangle. What? Do we not have soccer stars? They can actually have soccer clinics and develop soccer in the Vaal? Well, we'll see. But for now, let's have a conversation with the coaches. Woohoo! And as you can tell, woohoo! Matthew, welcome to the show.
No, thank you for having me.
Matthew, let's talk about the development of soccer. Why do you think it's important?
Well, first of all, it's important to be able to give young boys and young girls an opportunity to shine, to get out there and not only exercise, but football is probably the most beneficial thing about football is that you interact from a young age with different types of kids from different backgrounds, ethnicities, languages, etc., and that's an education in itself.
You know, they always laugh at us. They say the Vaal is the sticks. We always need a passport to come here. There isn't a lot of developmental agencies here in the Vaal, and we do have a few soccer stars that come from the Vaal. Why do you think that is a thing, though?
Yeah, I made my debut professionally against Vaal Pros, which doesn't exist anymore, if I'm not mistaken. So I have a relationship here, and I've often traveled down to this part of the world, in fact across the country. And one thing that I've realized is that our football is very centralized. So if you've got to make it in life, you have to come up to Johannesburg, you know, and that shouldn't be the case. We've got to decentralize our football. We've got to create centers of excellence around the country, so that kids don't have to travel anywhere, and that they can have an opportunity in the region that they were born in.
So as I'll call you an entrepreneur because this is your business and your career, what are some of the elements that you would say are necessary and disciplines that are really key in order to make it in the world of soccer?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm a trustee and director of a couple of NPOs. So for me, it's very much a charity principle, is almost a give back for me. But entrepreneurship, there are fantastic opportunities to get involved in exactly what we're doing as well, to generate an income for yourselves and also to give kids an opportunity. So it's a double-edged sword, and a lot of my ex-colleagues should be taking up the very same opportunities. I would say make sure that you get some form of coaching license under your belt. That's very important. Not everybody can be a coach, and just be very, very aware that you have a group of kids who are captured for a couple of hours, so you become their parent. So what you say to them, what you tell them, is of greatest importance, and I think corporates and our football authorities don't actually understand the power that a coach has these days. And it's not only here at Curro, in the townships, in the suburbs, the city centres. No matter what type of kid you instruct or deal with, they are under your influence, and that in itself is very powerful. So just be very cognizant of that, And the messaging, football is often used as a vehicle for important messaging throughout the country. I mean, you can add any message to a football clinic that you really want, besides perhaps arts and culture maybe, but everything else, education, health, environment, you name it.
So, as a parting shot to anybody that's listening to this or watching this podcast, what would you say is the essence of soccer? What does soccer mean to you?
I've mentioned opportunity. I think some people view it as almost a religion. The stadium is the cathedral. That's where we go to pray, and I think it's given me such a fantastic lifestyle. I'm not talking about money here. I'm talking about the ability to travel, to meet people, and to play in front of huge crowds. And I would love that I would love kids to also want to dream. And want that as well, and I think that's probably the essence of football. Yeah.
Matthew, I'm going to ask you a tricky question. What is that one thing that you would like us to know about Matthew Booth that we don't know?
Wow, you put me on the spot here. I like to read a lot, which is maybe surprising for a sportsman, ex-sportsman, but I love reading books in my downtime. So yeah, that's probably the most surprising thing that you would know about me.
How do we connect with you?
I'm director at the South African Football Legends, also at the Booth Education and Sports Africa. So we're on social media and websites. We've got a fantastic pool of ex-players that we interact with as well, and we strive to give back to a community that has given us so much.
And that's how we wrap up our conversation with Matthew Booth. Okay, so we've just had a conversation with Matthew Booth, but you know what is incredible? We have got a soccer mum. Now, these are the superstars that we normally don't take a step back and say thank you to. All these soccer legends, they all grow up and then they're like, yeah, I made it in life because I'm so good and I'm so smart. But who was the one that was actually making sure that your passion is harnessed? Who was making sure that you got to those clinics? Let's speak to a soccer mum. Hi, Nelly. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Wow, absolutely. It's a fine, beautiful day, so it is actually good. So you're a superhero.
I redefined what superhero is. I really redefined it in my own accord.
So what does being a soccer mom mean?
Being a soccer mom, with my experience with my little one, is putting his passion before everything else. I literally eat, breathe, sleep soccer. From PlayStations, investing with the kids and the traveling, everything. You just have to always be that little man's, oh, well, I wish I had a girl, but that little man's passion above everything. Despite all the challenges that you may be facing, you always just have to be like, you know what, there's a spark in this child. Let me harness it and invest in it. You never know what it might turn out into tomorrow.
Now, there are quite a few soccer moms around here. How does that relationship work?
Oh, it's actually wonderful because we're all actually different. We're diverse. We've got different races, different backgrounds. So when we get together, that doesn't even contribute to anything. We're just soccer moms. We're all in the same sphere of supporting our children. We're shouting by the side of the pitch, and we're like, hey, God, and we talk even about our challenges, because funny enough, indirectly it becomes a support group, because you might think I'm having my challenges alone with my little one, because I thought it was actually abnormal for him to be soccer this, soccer that, and then you're like, oh, your child also does that. Oh, okay. Then it seems like it's just a norm. Then we're just like, okay, we can even support each other in different manners that we didn't even think existed. So the relationship is good also, very good.
Being a woman, being a mother, being a career individual, how do you balance all of that?
Time management. Time management is how I have to balance that. I have to have a routine for everything whereby I know my son has soccer practice. You try to be at every soccer practice, which is also not always realistic, but every soccer match you're always there. You have to sometimes sacrifice not going to gym. You just make sure you have a routine that works for him and yourself, and also the dad's also supporters. So I'm very thankful I have a father, a son's father, which supports me, but I'm always also in the front line with him.
So that is one of the soccer moms. Let's hear from the soccer moms and maybe a soccer dad. Make up your mind. Soccer clinic, soccer clinic, soccer clinic. Beautiful mothers. Niveshri is with me this morning and she has got her earrings. She is looking fly. Now, Niveshri, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Being a soccer mom
Yes.
entitles you to be looking this good as well so early in the morning?
Well, today's a very special day for us. We've got Mr. Matthew Booth here. So obviously the soccer moms are going to come out in full force to support him as well.
I like the sound of that. But what does being a soccer mom mean to you?
It's about having such a busy life, actually. It's about making sure there's a team spirit amongst the boys and the soccer moms and the dads as well. Keeping to schedules, making sure that you get to those training sessions and the soccer games on a Saturday. And yes, definitely.
You know what? We live in very difficult times in South Africa. And I see that you've got your own community here. Does it mean that as a soccer mom, you're able to discipline another child that comes from the academy? Or how does it work? Because, I mean, with all the rules and regulations in South Africa, you are so scared to actually just discipline or talk to another child. What does it mean? How does it work in your own academy here?
I think a lot of us moms and dads are, very old school when it comes to discipline. So it's that look, I think, that we all have, and I think all the kids know the look. But in terms of discipline, recently we had a soccer tournament in Lenasia with a couple of other teams, and it's all about representing your community. And obviously us as in Vanderbijlpark and as Curro and, various other schools that partake in it. For Coach John's team, it's about making sure that our name is held high. Coach John is a really good coach. So is his wife. She's very into the soccer moms, and we have our own WhatsApp group going. And so I think in terms of discipline as well, I think there's no real issue with that. I can go in and I can tell the boys, calm down, and there's no issue for that.
I like the aspect of the look,
Yes, all moms and dads have the look. So I think, it's a universal language. And like I said, we all want to just uphold our name and make sure our kids do the same as well.
So today, what does it mean for you?
Today, being here, this is actually our first get together on these grounds. So it's been good. It's been a rush of a get together, but everybody pulled together. There's platters. We're gonna have boerewors rolls, and so it's just all coming together, and celebrating soccer.
And that's how we wrap up our conversation right here. What would soccer be without a soccer dad? With me, I have got a gentleman, Ishmael. Ishmael, welcome to the show.
Thank you for welcoming me.
So tell us a little bit about who you are.
My name is Ishmael. I'm the dad of Kenneth Basterman. I also played a bit of the game. So I live around here in Vanderbijlpark, and I've been brought up in the Vaal, spent most of my time here in the Vaal. And soccer is the only thing that I know myself for as long as I've known myself. And it's one thing that has given me a lot of comfort over the years. So I believe I've got two sons that is also very active in football. So I believe that, it's something that will give them the discipline in life and allow them to grow in the way that they feel it's right for themselves as well.
So when you talk about having dabbled with soccer, what does that mean?
It really means, giving me the advantage of also knowing what is happening in the game and also being able to translate that over to my kids in terms of discipline, behaviors, how to behave out there. So it's given me a lot.
So being a soccer dad, especially for the Flair Feet Academy, what does it mean? What does it entail in actual fact?
It really entails a lot of commitment. It entails, bringing your kids to this kind of training camps that they have. It entails preparing the child, and equally because Coach John, who runs the program, is a very active person around, trying to guide and lead the kids into a way, that will expose their future selves as well. So, being here, seeing the environment, it gives me a lot of comfort.
And, a lot of people don't recognize the talent that comes from the Vaal because they say it's so dead. When you come to the Vaal, either you have to bring patkos and you have to have a visa and you have to have a passport.
Yeah.
What would you say to people like that?
And that is rather unfortunate because the Vaal has produced so many great players over the years. We've had our own professional soccer team in Vaal Professionals being based here in the Vaal. We've had our very own Aaron Mokwena, which was the Bafana Bafana captain, coming from the Vaal. So there's so many talent here. It is one of the dark sides of Gauteng, that I totally agree. And I'm hoping, academies like Flair Feet Stars will change a lot of that perspective that people hold. So, in future, this will be something that, generates and create hype for the Vaal in terms of football.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, Ishmael is not alone in the Academy of Supporting Dads. We've got Malume and James, but Malume says he's just a cheerleader, I suppose. He's just here for moral support. Is that possible? I don't know, but we'll hear a little bit from him and from James. Welcome, gentlemen, to the show.
Thank you very much.
James, let's talk about the Soccer Academy. What does it mean for you?
Basically, it means an opportunity for kids to explore themselves, to express themselves, to find out more about themselves.
Why soccer?
If you look at South Africa, soccer is quite a prominent sport. I think in every community, regardless of where they are, I think soccer is one of the most common sport that you find, and you don't need to have maybe put in structures like maybe rugby and all that. So even in the streets, we have our kids playing soccer there. So it's sort of a uniting a sport for our country and for our communities.
Malume, tell me from your point of view. What does a supporting dad mean?
Okay, supporting would mean providing the conducive resources for the kid, like providing obviously the kid, transporting the kid to the soccer matches, and obviously overall support.
So overall support, there's a few dads that actually have that passion and, to always make sure that during lunchtime they leave work and then they go. That actually mostly leans on soccer superhero moms. So do you have to also juggle that those roles?
Yeah. Actually, you are describing me because I'm the dad who does that. So. It's a fallacy that it's only women or super moms. There are super soccer dads. I'm one of them.
James?
Yeah, I'm also one of them. I normally have to leave work, even if it's pressing, just to go and support the boys, because that moral support is quite important, because you've discovered that sometimes even if it's tough for the boys, but when you are there, when they see that the parent is there, yeah, the morale is boosted.
And that's how we have this conversation with the super dads.
Hearing allow the reader speak specific. On the behalf of the entire Flair Feet Stars team, I wanted to express our sincere gratitude for taking the time to get it up. As a captain, it was an honor to have a soccer star like you come and share your experiences with our team. Your words of encouragement and wisdom have inspired us to work harder and aim higher in our game. We will always cherish the time you spent with us and the advice you laid. Your visit has left a lasting impact on the team, and we hope to have the pleasure of welcoming you back in the future again. Your presence truly meant the world to us, and we can't thank you enough for the memories you've created and done. You truly are a legend in the world of soccer. It was to Anna, we just need to learn from him. Thank you once again for your kindness and generosity.
Michael.